Are NFT collectibles the future of trading cards or a big hype bubble that will soon pop? Over $8 billion is staked into Binance for Alien World's Trillium token. The Sandlot is coming to the NFT world. And speaking of baseball, Topps has finally gone Major League. And we'll be joined by William Quigley to discuss the most anticipated sports ball NFTs of the year. Conjugate the verb nifty. I nifty, you nifty, he nifties, she nifties, we nifty, you nifty, they nifty, zer nifties. It's the Nifty News episode number 46 of the Nifty Show.
Looking into the future, what do we see? It's lined with digital collectibles, we call them NFTs. Games, trading cards, digital art, and those crypto kitties. Travis and Joel are the hosts, you'll know. Travis and Joel say this won't blow. They're locked and loaded, so ready, set, go! It's the Nifty, really kind of spiffy. The Nifty Show.
It's Nifty Show number 46, covering all things in the world of NFTs and digital collectibles. You might recognize these voices from another podcast. This is Joel Comm.
And I am Travis Wright. You may not have recognized my voice because I hadn't spoken yet.
Well, now they know who you are.
Now I have spoken. But you may not even hear my voice, and that's okay either.
You know, have you noticed this is
Nifties? So
this is not called the Bad NFT Podcast, because when it comes to NFTs, we're not bad.
We're actually, we're pretty solid.
Yeah.
We got these things down.
Pretty decent after, going down this rabbit hole here for 3.5 years and creating our own since January of 2020. Now with 6 successful launches under our belts, over $1 million, close to $1 million in retail sales, and something like 4 million in secondary market sales. We actually know one or two things.
Yeah, we've minted now, closing in on about a million NFTs, which is crazy to think about. Who's minted more NFTs than that?
Damn.
Jimmy.
Jimmy has not.
Jimmy has not.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Hey, this podcast is sponsored by no one, because we do not want ads on this show.
Yeah, no ads. Well, we are the sponsors. You are the listeners. You are the community. We're glad you're here. And let's go to CoinGecko.com and click on the NFT tab up at the top. And you can kind of see here, they've sectioned off the top 100 NFT coins by market capitalization. The total NFT market cap of the coins that they're covering is almost $30 billion. And so NFT dominance versus all coins is now at 1.3%, and still at number one.
Where does it show that? Oh, wow. I do see that. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Theta has a 42% dominance of it all.
Which is amazing because they haven't really even done NFTs yet, but they're coming, and it's a big network. They are a
video streaming platform. It's not an NFT platform, but they're doing NFTs, so whatever.
I don't think it belongs there, but it's there. Engine Coin does belong there, $3.14. Chili's, Decentraland Flow, Ecomi is, after its big run, is still standing at about 0.008 cents. Alien Worlds, and we'll talk about this a little bit more in depth when we get to the story about them, is at 51 cents. Origin Protocol, Red Fox Labs, 34 cents. Number 10 is Sand. Wax at 27.5 cents as of Tuesday, the 13th of April, 2021. That is Eastern Daylight Time. You'll notice I will no longer give mountain times because I no longer am in the mountains.
Yeah.
And I'm almost no longer in Florida, because as of tomorrow, I will be flying to Puerto Rico.
You're going to be at the same time zone, though, right? Eastern time?
Well, it changes. I think that they're the same time all year, but when it goes to daylight savings, then Puerto Rico is 1 hour ahead of the East Coast.
Wow.
Yeah.
That means I could, sleep in late if I'm there and, still be up early.
Right.
That's pretty handy. All right, check this out. So there's a few coins that have done some magical dances this past week. PlayCent is one that I've not heard of, and I'm going to go research it now. It's PLAYCENT. It's the PCNT token, up 143% this past week.
Can I say I'm just really glad that it wasn't called the placenta?
That's true. That'd be gross.
That's the smallest unit of a place.
Okay, then.
Sorry.
Nifty is another one that was up 110% this past week, up to $34. That's the NIF token. Unilayer, Layer, that was up to 68% this past week. Punk Basic up 45%. Punk Basic, one Punk Basic token is worth $43,000. Like, how many are those total? I don't even know. That's crazy.
There can't be many because the total market has only got to be like 10. Because let's see, circulating supply, maximum
99.
supply, 99. That's it.
Which is funny because I remember I told you the other day I had a dream that we did a token and there was only 21 of them in existence.
Mm-hmm.
And here's this guy doing 99 of them in existence. Like, that's got to be crazy.
I'm going to make one token. I'm going to create a crypto, an NFT, and make it a token. And if you want to buy that NFT, you own the full supply of that token. Brilliant.
That's great. There you go. Here's another one, Superbird, I've not heard of. Hello, bird. Up 34%, up to $1.78. Items, the Arte token, ARTE, up 28%. And then Engine, NFT, Protocol, some of these other ones. Coin Artist is in the top 100 now. She is brilliant. Was it Marguerite?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's up. That's at about $2.70-something. So check us out. There's a whole bunch of these that I've never heard of that I'm going to go do some research on now that maybe you guys want to do it. That's how we go. Hey, I'm not going to tell you which tokens to go research. I'm not going to tell you which ones to buy, but I will tell you which ones to go research. How about that?
Right on. And join our Discord because that's where a lot of research conversation is happening at badco.in/Discord. You can get into the general hero lobby at no cost. If you want to get access to all the member stuff, you need 50 hero token. And I think those are sitting at around, I don't know, 12 cents or so. You can get those on Uniswap, and then you get access to all of the things. There's an article that I spotted yesterday on ZDNet.com. ZD stands for Ziff Davis. During the golden age of computing, Ziff Davis was the leading publisher of computer magazines. They were all over the newsstands. I don't know that if they still publish any physical magazines on paper. For those of you that are, under 10 years old, then you might have to ask your parents about what those are. But the article here is, are NFT collectibles the new trading cards or a hype bubble soon to burst? Because, they've become a hot commodity with artists, musicians, sports people, entrepreneurs. Lots of people are making a lot of money. And so Eileen Brown questions, will things burst? And the reason I came across this article is because I have Google Alerts set up for blockchain heroes. And sure enough, there's a paragraph in here that announces Upland has announced a partnership with digital collectible card creator Blockchain Heroes that enable blockchain gamers to buy, sell, and trade in-game characters as NFTs on other digital marketplaces through the Upland platform. It's not really accurate, but I don't expect a lot of accuracy from mainstream media when they're talking about NFTs. Yeah,
well, they did do some interesting data. They partnered up with a consumer opinion company called People Say, and they asked 30,000 Americans and a little over 6,000 Brits what they think about NFTs. And according to this, 42% of Americans have no clue what an NFT is, compared to 59% of the Brits. 34% say they're somewhat aware in America. 24% say they're quite aware in America. Over in Britland, 18% are quite aware, and 23% are somewhat aware. So just looking at that, you can see at least roughly 50% of those people who were, asked, they're somewhat aware. However, how many of those people are on an opinion site called People Say? Those are probably some tech savvy people. So I bet if you even sort of reach out to some less tech savvy people, they're going to go, NF who? Huh?
Right.
NF twat?
NF twat? What?
NF twat?
Oh my. So the author of the article says, as a Brit, I'm firmly in the skeptical camp, believing the NFT bubble will burst one day. I prefer to own tangible, traditional assets that I can hold in my hands. That's okay. She doesn't get it, and that's fine. Usually, the innovators and the early adopters and the pioneers are the ones that understand. It's not going away, gang. It's not a fad. We have seen a reasonable pullback in the price that people are getting on the secondary market for NBA Top Shots and for artwork on Nifty Gateway, because the hype just drove a lot of speculators in just for quick flips. So that's always going to happen at the beginning of a hype cycle. And when that slows, it's not the bubble bursting, it's coming back to where it should be.
I agree. And it is very interesting. I think there is a bubble when it comes to Ethereum based NFTs, but we're going to start seeing a lot more of digital plus physical, where the digital item is connected to the physical item that proves you own that physical item and also tracks inventory of things, right? We're going to start seeing a lot of interesting things popping up with NFT commerce, which hasn't even begun yet. I think I bought the domain name 7 months ago, but I do believe that NFT commerce will be a thing. Imagine you can have a tied database with one item. It has an NFT connected to it. Multiple websites can try to sell that item. Once that item's sold and that NFT is no longer available, boom, that item is off of everybody's marketplace. There's a company called Splift, which is it's Shop X is the crypto for it, and they're going to be doing some really stuff. They're already partnered with Shopify and some other of these commerce sites. I think there's a lot of exciting stuff to happen on this that has yet to begin. So a lot of this stuff has yet to even get rolling out. We're in the very first phase of the hype cycle, and then the hype's going to kind of die down, and then what we're going to see is more and more stuff sort of popping up around it, and we're going to more innovation. Just like whenever the bubble burst with the first web boom, right, in 99, 2000, what happened in 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, right? A whole bunch of new stuff got innovated, and so we're going to start seeing a lot of that.
The article here on Daily Coin is titled, "Is the NFT Craze Over?" So I'm going to say yes to that. That's not the same thing as a bubble. The craze, just the word itself, craze, from the word crazy, insane, means that it is the people are reacting in an unhealthy emotional way. And that's not how people should be looking at NFTs as unhealthy and emotional. We should be looking at them for what they are: amazing ways to tokenize programmable media of all kinds. And so when we see the height of the craze, weekly NFT trading volume reached 196 million. Beeple sold his piece for 69 million, and we're seeing prices come back down to earth. I'm good with the craze being over, but here's how I know it's not a fad. If all you have to do is look at and examine on any social media platform all of the niche groups, every musician, every band, every sports league, most popular athletes, every comedian, every brand, and so on has a fan base, has a target audience. And all you have to do is develop, create NFTs that are quality, that target audience will want, and they will buy it. They don't care if the rest of the world is freaking out on a Beeple piece, or if people bought GPK cards or blockchain heroes. They want the pieces that go with their particular idol, right? They want their band, their comedian, their movie or TV show. I don't care how hyped up NFTs get in any arena. If you tell fans of The Office, which I am one, that there are going to be an NFT collectible set with, the best clips of, with a category of "That's What She Said" cards, of Michael Scott saying that, I'm going to line up to buy that, and so will millions of others.
Yep. It's only just begun, folks. The initial hype is, as Joe mentioned, probably reaching a crescendo, but we're just beginning. And I think it is a healthy little thing. It's like, oh, here's the first little blip. But just like with Bitcoin, it's that first little sort of Bitcoin bull run. Oh, and then it goes down. And then you look back a couple years later and that was just a blip. You can hardly even see that it was a bump. We're going to get there. This is a future trillion-dollar, multi-trillion-dollar industry, most likely. And, everything that's a physical item is going to have a digital counterpart to it. That's, you might not see it, but that's most likely what's going to happen. Maybe not everything will be one, but there'll be a lot of them that are connected to these NFTs. It's almost going to be like your receipt. Your receipt of buying something is kind of going to be an NFT. You own it. Like do I need a donut? If I go buy my donut, do I need a receipt? No, I don't need a receipt, but they give you one. I do not need a paper for this transaction. But that's an old Mitch Hedberg thing.
It do not matter.
Paper and ink into this. Let's give me a donut.
Missed my pun. It do not matter.
Okay.
Said it again because it was worth it. It got the laugh. I'm good with it. So one of the things we've talked about is featured in this article here on decrypt.co. By the way, you can see links to all of the articles we reference in this episode at nifty.show/46.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about some of these things here. So this is a piece right here on Decrypt is about breaking them apart. The next big thing in NFTs. It says decentralized autonomous organizations and fractional purchasing are the next latest developments in the red hot NFT market. Well, think about it like this. Maybe it's like, okay, here's a Beeble and maybe we all want to own 1/100th of it, right? And so maybe they'll be able to do that. But what I kind of think, maybe not even breaking them up, one of the things I think is going to be the biggest thing is pooling their funds and pooling their NFTs into a NFT index fund type of a thing. We're going to start seeing more and more of that. We've seen, the whale token, and what is he? Crypto Whale Shark's his name, yeah. And he has a lot of those, and he's got an NFT pool where all these NFTs are in, and it's fascinating how valuable his token is. So imagine pooling in a bunch of very valuable NFTs, almost like you might do like, oh, I'm going to pool in a Van Gogh, and I'm going to put in a Monet, and I'm going to put in a Picasso and maybe a Da Vinci piece of these art pieces in this pool, and then everybody can own a piece of that. How much would that token be worth if you were able to fractionalize some of those great painters? Well, the same thing can happen in digital, and we're going to see more and more of that.
We will, to the point that, we've already, spun off this show from the live Nifty Show where we do interviews. In fact, there's so much to talk about that we've actually got an interview coming in this show too. There's going to be so many things to talk about. Just like on Bad Crypto, we can't cover all the coins. There's way too many. There's just too many projects, and the same thing in the NFT space is there's no way for us to keep up to date. But we appreciate you guys keeping us posted. You can email us anytime at badcryptopodcast@gmail.com and let us know of projects that you find. We don't have time to reply to everybody. It's a lot of email. So it doesn't mean we don't like your project. It just means that there's just too much content. But in special instances, we do reach out, and because it piques our interest. We always want to cover things that are interesting to us. Like this next story here, we've been covering Blankos, which is Mythical Games, fun block party game, for months now. But when they were in beta, and we had, a guy from Mythical on the show, on the Nifty Show, and they are finally planning to launch their NFT marketplace so that if you bought Blankos within the game, you'll be able to sell them and cash out. For those that don't know, it's kind of like a platformer game with mini games, and people can build their own games in it. And the Blankos themselves are these vinyl characters, in a 3D world. They're called Blankos. They're kind of cute and fun to have. And I've been collecting them. How about you?
You know what? I have a few of them as well. Some of those early on. I was actually logging in. I think they did a new sale recently with some of those new Blankos pieces or whatever. They're really cool looking. I would love to see some blockchain heroes sort of reimagined as this, and it's fun to run around in the world. And I've done it a couple of times, and then I was like, all right, now what do I do? But it's sort of like, I guess, didn't Zach describe it kind of like how you can do kind of a free run around in Fortnite or something and kind of just interact with folks?
Yeah, and there's games, and the people build the games in the space, so it's got a sandbox type of element to it. But now they're at the place here where they're going to allow people to start buying, selling, and trading the characters that they have in the game. And I'm going to be really interested to follow that and see what they go for. I've got a few of the founders, Blankos characters, and I'm wondering, if there's going to be a nice secondary market for those or not.
We shall see. Huh?
We shall indeed. Let's cover this story here about our friends at Alien Worlds. We had Michael Yeats on the Nifty Show most recently. He's been on now 3 times to talk about Alien Worlds. And I got to confess, in the beginning, when I saw Alien Worlds, I thought, okay, this is interesting. But I don't know. I didn't see their overall roadmap for where the game was going, and I wasn't sure if it would succeed or not. Well, it's wildly successful, and there's hardly much of a game right now. You know, you can buy the packs, you can get the cards, you can own some land, get some tools, and you can mine on these different planets and earn TLM, which is Trillium. Well, this story published on their Medium a few days ago that over $8 billion has been staked into Binance for Trillium, making it the largest decentralized app in the world. But here's what's happened since then. They've gone live on Binance Smart Chain, and people are, tens of millions of dollars are trading hands right now.
Little known fact. So my brother's name is William, and I'm Travis. And I think back in like 2000, I bought a domain name Trillium.com, spelled a little different, TRILLIAM or something. And we did a little site. We had a little fun for a little while, and then he was disinterested, and so the domain went away. But yeah, $8 billion staked for Trillium, really, for a decentralized game. What? That's a lot.
It made the market cap crazy. So here's what happened, to my knowledge, is they were going to allow people to port their TLM from their Wax wallet into either a Binance wallet or a an Ethereum wallet, and then as of last night, allegedly you would be able to trade for cash monies. And I never thought this Trillium would amount to much of anything, but apparently last week, before the official exchanging opened up and their teleport system opened up to move your funds from one chain to another, some were able to put some onto the exchange, and they were selling for like $6 a TLM, which is ludicrous, because that would value
made my
the
Blockfolio look redonkulous. I was like, oh, what? Oh, man, I'm super baller now.
It would basically value this game that is in its very early stages as more than epic mega games, which is Fortnite and all of their other properties. So ridiculous, right? Even
these
now,
these are some serious bubble prices, man. This does remind me of like pets.com back in the internet days.
Right now, as of this recording, the market cap for TLM at 51 cents a TLM is $634 million. Okay. Now, here's what happened. The exchange opened up. People were, as it slowly allowed people to teleport their TLM from Wax into Binance or on Ethereum, an instant sell-off took place. In a matter of minutes, the price went from $6 to about $1.50, and people started freaking out. And here's the thing, gang, you have to take responsibility for your investments, and you have to do your research. Somebody out there was hyping up this coin, and so people went and bought it. They spent their hard-earned money investing in this coin. Now, I'm not saying whether it's a good investment or not in the long term. I think Alien Worlds is going to do really well. Personally, they're onto something. But people were buying this coin for $6, and then what they didn't do was stop to look and see how many millions of them were waiting to be dumped in the marketplace by people who were basically earning them for next to nothing by mining it for free in the game. And so it was very predictable. Here's what's not predictable. As of this recording, Travis, it's only at 51 cents. I figured that the dump would have taken it down to about a dime, and it did not. So there's some strength here.
There's some strength. No dump to the dime. Yeah. You know, what's interesting for me was that, okay, I remember we had these conversations, and then we had Mike on the show, and then so I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and mine some of this, and I've mined 6 figures worth of this Trillium stuff, right? And just like just having it do its own thing in the app. I think I staked some cards and was doing some thing, and it was just doing its stuff all on its own. And so think of all the other people who are doing that. You think they had like 100,000 tokens, and you think they're really worth $6 a piece when you just mine them off of the site, and Like, you just really just going to be gifted $600,000 out of the blue? No, right? That's not. That's the ship of opportunity does not sail that close to you, my friends. So, yeah, the reason it was so high was because very few people could actually get it out of the system and over to where it needed to go. So there was very few available, and people were buying them, and the price went up to $6. But really it's probably worth about 10, 15 cents when it's all said and done. But who knows?
I'm
not an NFT economist.
That's the way you do it. You make your money on your NFTs.
Yeah.
That ain't working. Tom Brady is joining the NFT party. I know Travis and our producer Aaron are thrilled to hear that. Big fans of Tom Brady, not fans of the Kansas City Chiefs at all. And
right.
That is a lie. He is launching an NFT platform called Autograph. What's that about?
Yeah, it's going to bring some of the biggest names in sports and entertainment and fashion and pop culture, probably influencers as well, to work with creators to develop these unique digital collectibles. And yeah, you know, it's a great name. I don't even know what the name of the website is going to be. Is Autograph. Autograph.io is the website. And, you know, it looks like they're going to be doing some stuff on Ethereum. Maybe they'll do some other stuff on some other blockchains. But, I mean, that's just what it is. You know that Tom Brady's going to be done playing football eventually. But he actually Tom Brady has the most expensive trading card in football history. His rookie card sold for $2.25 million. That was autographed. And the previous number one most expensive football card of all time was another rookie card of his that sold for like $1.32 million. So the two highest football cards of all time are signed by Tom Brady.
Yeah, and also a piece of trivia. Do you remember the rock band from the 80s, the hair band, Autograph?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember them?
You know, I do remember them. What's their big song?
They had one song. Well, that was my next question to see if you had it. It was "Turn Up the Radio." Yeah. That was
on the tip of my tongue, but I could not remember it.
There you go. Another story here from the sports world. I think you put this in here about Luka Garza. Luka, what's that?
So check this out. For years, college athletes are not able to make money on their likeness, right? They could make no money from their jersey sales. They make no salary. You know, some would say, hey, that's what keeps the level field playing field, you know, sort of even. Well, you have some teams that throughout time have always sort of have under the table paid athletes and stuff. And there's been a lot of schools that have been caught doing that. And then you have like Adidas doing sort of, and Nike doing sort of deals with some of these athletes. But it's been generally frowned upon in this establishment to get you know, revenue from your likeness. And I think with NFTs, that changes the game a little bit. But also the NCAA has sort of has lowered some of those restrictions over time. And so Luka Garza, who is he plays basketball for the Iowa Hawkeyes. He was a college basketball player of the year, and he has launched his own NFT and on OpenSea, the very first athlete ever to actually do that, which I thought was very innovative. And I think it's cool because, you know, a lot of these athletes, they're struggling. They're not making no money. And then if they don't make it to the league, but they did somewhat decent in college, but they made no money. Yeah, they got a scholarship, but a lot of these schools are making, hundreds of millions of dollars on their basketball programs, like Duke and KU, University of Kansas, where I went, you know, Kentucky, UCLA, some of these big schools, Michigan State, they're making a lot of money. Football players are making these college football programs are making so much money, and none of it goes back to the student athletes. So I think it's interesting.
That ain't right. By the way, those of you who are watching the video version, sorry that I forgot to turn my screen share on for the story. It's been telling you stories this whole time, and all you've had to look at is us. So my apologies to you for that. Here's a story from Decrypt. Christie's former Rainmaker brings NFT to fine art collectors. This is the former co-chair who's going to oversee the sale of an animated artwork by Urs Fischer. This is called Chaos #1 Human NFT. It looks like there's a ball with a lighter stuck into it.
That guy was stoned when he came up with that one.
It's an egg.
Oh, it's an egg. He was like,
it's an
man,
animation.
my lighter. Somebody took my lighter. Oh, whoa, it's stuck in the egg, dude.
There it
whoa.
is. There's the animated version of it right there. This is modern art in a nutshell right here, gang. Look, if people can be paid to be an art critic, I can be an art critic, an amateur art critic, and I can say, I don't get it. I don't particularly care for it. I don't know why it's art. Is that, can I say it? I don't need your permission to say it, damn it. That's what I'm going to say. I'm like, all right.
Urs is like, hey, man, don't be harsh on my gig, bro. This is
harsh on
my
my
lighter
eggs.
and my egg art that I did.
Okay, look at this.
Smoking some kush.
The egg and lighter NFT is a shrine to the power of humans, Fisher explained to Decrypt. Fire and the fertilization of eggs were once purely natural processes, but humans conquered both. Fire fits in our pockets, and our eggs come from battery farms. The egg is such an absolute and stunning perfection. There are not many like it in nature. Okay.
Yep, he was stoned. Look at him. He was high as shit.
I'm gonna stick.
You muted yourself, man.
Yeah,
high over there yourself, man.
I don't know. Okay, whatever. There's only one of these, and you can buy it. There's an auction
Egg
on
lighter, bro. Come on, man. Fire in our pocket. Eggs in our fridge, dude. It's totally cool. You know what else is cool? It was killing it. The Winklevoss twins.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they have they've snagged some real estate in the metaverse called the Sandbox. And just an FYI, we do work with Animoca Brands, and the Sandbox is owned by Animoca. We're big fans of those guys over there. They're killing it. Sandbox.game is the site. And this thing's taking off.
All right, let's talk baseball, because if you remember the film
From Sandbox to Sandlot.
Yeah, I meant to do that in a way that I didn't think about. The the 28th anniversary of the film The Sandlot just happened, and there is a series of cards coming out on Wax called the Boys of Summer, boysofsummer.cards. We're actually going to have two of the actors, Grant Gelt and the other dude, Victor.
Is it Squints? Do we get Squints? Is he coming on the show?
We get Bertram Grover Weeks and Timmy Timmons are the two actors. The adults are going to be joining us on Friday's Nifty Show.
Okay.
Squints was Chauncey Leopardi.
Okay.
Is he the You're Killing Me Smalls?
No, Michael Squints. Yeah, we don't get Squints. We don't get who was the fat one who was like, "You're killing me, Smalls."
I don't remember. We'll see if one of them. We'll just look at our guests and see, or one of you guys, the fat little kid.
I think Timmy Timmons. I think that was the guy who who borrowed the Babe Ruth baseball from his stepdad, who was Dennis Leary. I think.
So
I think
these
that was
are
Timmy Timmons. I'm not sure though.
They've got behind the scenes photos, and they're without the studio, right? This
Hey,
is
look,
not
he got
studio.
a KC hat on. He's got a Kansas City Monarchs hat on right over there. That's nice.
There you go. So they're going to be on the show on Friday. But the big baseball story is this one, is that Topps, the granddaddy of all collectible cards, is finally announced that they're bringing Major League Baseball to the NFT world on Wax blockchain, and the sale happens on the 20th of April. And guess what, Trav? We have a conversation with William Quigley of Wax to tell us more about it.
Looking forward to this.
Here goes. As we said, gang, Wax is going major league. The long-awaited announcement has come from Topps, the king daddy of trading cards.
Yes.
For 70 years, they've had baseball cards, maybe longer. And now they are going live on Topps. And here to discuss it with us is the one and only inimitable William Quigley of Wax. Hello, good sir. Nice to see you again.
Hey guys, it's always good to see you guys. Every couple months we do this.
Yeah, this is big news. This is huge news. This is, there's been some big brands that have come to Wax. Capcom Atari, Dead Mouse. But I got to say, when we're talking collectibles, I don't think there's anything bigger in the space than Major League Baseball.
No, there's not. And you know what I liked about baseball versus basketball is basketball's got, I think, like 84 games a year. Baseball's 162, I think. But you know, really double, right? And a big part of the secondary market trading of these cards is it's sort of like fantasy, right? The fantasy games. The secondary market responds to perceptions about the players. And if you can do that for many more months, it's a lot more fun to collect MLB cards.
I've always thought so too. You know, it's like I like the NBA, but I go through and I watch these moments on NBA Top Shot, and I'm like, okay, how many dunks and 3-pointers do I need to see? They're all kind of the same right after a while. You know what I mean? It seems to me like highlights are going to lend itself more towards NFL, maybe more so than NBA. But when you're talking about digital cards and digital collectibles, I mean, just even physical cards, you immediately go and you start thinking about baseball cards and thinking about Topps. They've been doing this for 70 years.
It's no accident. The first application of the wax packs, pack opening concept for NFTs was Topps, because when I was younger, collected baseball cards. My younger brother collected Garbage Pail Kids. And I was like, wouldn't it be cool to have wax packs on a blockchain? And you guys may know this, I don't know, but wax packs are what you call the physical trading card packs.
Yeah, because they're sealed with wax.
Yeah. So it's wax packs. And so I just thought that was all super cool. And, you know, it took a bit of time to get them to go. We're talking like 2019 when we approached them. It took them a while for them to go, maybe this is an interesting area. And as you know, they've just announced that they were getting acquired by a SPAC. And for over $1 billion. I believe a part of the excitement in the public markets around the Topps asset is the fact that they're doing interesting stuff on blockchain with NFTs and with wax.
What I like is, you know, Travis has been talking for some time how he's a fan of the Bunt app, which is their mobile app. And we were wondering for the longest time, are they just going to repurpose the Bunt app cards, or are they going to do original stuff? And Trav, you're saying that they look original, yeah?
Yeah, well, I mean, for example, I don't know. I've spent I don't know how much money I've spent. I know I've spent at least a couple of grand on MLB Bunt, and they just launched their new MLB Bunt 21, and you can access it on your iPad or your Android or iOS device. And here's some of the cards that they put out. They've had some very beautiful cards. A lot of cards they had that have been very super animated cards. They're just really cool. Like I think one version of this one right here card is actually an animated card. These are all, so they're putting out a lot of different styles of cards on MLB Bunt. Like every single week, it seems they have a new sort of system, a new card set. Maybe it's a small set of a 10, and they have multiple variations of the cards. I've been playing with this for a long time, and I just keep thinking like, man, I don't know how much value that I have stuck in my MLB Bunt, that if they were able to turn those into NFTs, I'd be able to, I know I'd probably have several $1,000s worth of those in it, because they're so cool. So many, I got this super rare Derek Jeter one that's so awesome, an animated card. And now they're bringing this kind of stuff over on blockchain, right?
Yeah, and one of the reasons I was excited about MLB cards, the Topps MLB cards, was because of what they had already done in the digital area. But keep in mind, their digital business is still small, you know, and I think you had a bunch of hardcore physical card collectors, and then now you're going to have hardcore blockchain collectors, because blockchain NFT collectors are, they may be, you know, small in numbers right now, but they are big buyers. And the digital part of it, it never seemed to get big enough. This is true of a lot of different brands. I feel like part of the reason is if something's trapped in an app, you know, it's not the same thing as we all know.
You're able to consume it, but you're not able then to resell it or gain any. It's actually like, it's kind of a suck for your money. It's a vacuum. It's like it's pulling in my money, but I can't pull it out, even though I got some cool things, but I can't do anything with them or sell them to anyone. Some people are trying to sell them on eBay, but that's dangerous too.
I just had an idea for a children's book that teaches kids about NFTs. It's called Help, I'm Trapped in an App, right? The whole idea is, hey, this is why this is inferior, but look what NFTs can do. You can break out of that app there, Junior, and have digital collectibles. Okay, so MLB's doing this thing. The launch is on the 20th. Is that Tuesday or Wednesday?
Let's see.
Today's the 13th, so it'd be the 20th, so that would be Tuesday.
On a Tuesday, okay. And you can actually go now. Travis is going to pull up the screen there to take a look at it.
This is on.wax.io/tops MLB. Or if you don't remember that, just go on Google or DuckDuckGo and type in MLB Tops NFT Wax, and it'll pull this site up here for you. It's a new era in baseball card collecting.
It is indeed. You know, NFTs as baseball cards. And now that everybody is thinking about NFTs, a lot of brands, obviously like Topps, wanted to see, is there a fit for us? I think because of the decades-long experience that Topps has with MLB, and that's, you know, that kind of nostalgia that you're bringing back from you know, even the 40s and 50s. This is one of the reasons why I think these are unique, because you've just got this storied brand, and a brand that people have been using for purposes of collecting and trading and speculating, and you're just turning it into a tokenized property. And I've been talking to a lot of people the last couple of days about the difference between digital and token, right? And this is something that I kind of took for granted that everybody got it, but it reminds me of my days when I was first trying to promote Tether, you know, the tokenized dollar, and people said, but dollars are already digitized, William. What's beneficial about what you're doing? And I'm like, oh, you don't know the difference between the tokenization and digitization. And as we just talked about here, when you digitize something, it can be copied by anybody. You really can't track any ownership rights, and it's generally not yours. It's trapped within a video game, trapped within an app. NFTs are yours. You buy them, they're your property. You're allowed to trade them at will, and you're allowed to resell them. And of course, NFTs are also, they're microcomputers. Something I think a lot of people have this notion right now that an NFT is a piece of it's an image, it's a piece of art. Probably a lot of that comes from all the overpriced stuff being sold on Ethereum. But NFTs, in my mind, are they're a new entertainment format, and they're powered with a computer, and anything you can do or think about being done in software, an NFT can do. And so it's going to be far more creativity you're going to see with NFTs in the future. And I can't wait to see ultimately augmented reality NFTs, and those will come. Maybe not in 6 months, but within a year, I suspect.
On Wax potentially.
Oh, 100%.
Nice. Yeah, because we saw the VV app by eComey and the OMI token, and that thing went from, it was an interesting thing that we noticed on this coin, that for whatever reason, the market cap was never calculated on CoinGecko because it was a 1-to-1 to it was paired with USDT, but it never showed how many coins were in circulation. So, and then the coin just kept going up and going up. Next thing you know, it's $2.5 billion market cap on this thing. And I was like, whoa, 2.5, no, that's going to tank. And now it's like 1.3 billion. It's lost about 50% of the value, but I saw it. I went, there's no way that's worth 2.5 billion at this point when Wax is worth 400 million and they've been doing all this other stuff. There's no way. I've told your story about programmable media, the smart contracts, or, and I really think it's advanced media. I call it advanced media, next level media.
Yeah.
It can be video, images, text, audio, links, AR, VR, 360. It can be, anything that you can imagine media to do that can be programmable. But I want you to talk about on this show about IPFS and why that's so important, because a lot of these NFTs are going on Ethereum. They're hosting them on Amazon, or they're hosting them on some other web server. And then you get this, NFT asset not found anymore because they moved the site. And so talk about why IPFS is so important.
Yeah, so thank you for that kind of background, because I think it's helpful for anybody who's going to be a collector. So first of all, we will dispel the myths of NFTs. And one is that it is a media file, an image, a video, a piece of music that is stored on the blockchain. And while technically you could store a media file on a blockchain, let's just, for sake of argument here, just say no one's ever going to do that for a whole bunch of design reasons. It wouldn't really work and it wouldn't scale. So, but most people, maybe they're starting to get it now, but most people still, particularly Ethereum NFT owners, didn't realize, maybe now they're starting to realize, is that those media files, that image they're looking at, is being stored on someone's server. Could be stored, maybe could be stored in someone's data center, but an individual or a company controls that. So you've got this token that you think is yours that's decentralized, but the reason you want the token is because it's linked to an image or linked to a video, but that image is being kept by some guy on his server. And so if that company or that person stops paying his server bill, or just for any other reason decides to disable access of that token being able to read that file somewhere on a private server, you now have an NFT, and it's a 404 error, right? It's just blank. And when we decided to create the Wax blockchain in 2017, we of course were aware that we had to make sure that the files, the media files that would be attached to the NFTs, could survive, Wax going and leaving or going out of business in 50 years, whatever it is. I mean, we want these blockchains to last until, the sun burns out. And so when you think that way, you immediately jump to, well, we need a distributed file system where you're not dependent on any one entity, preferably distributed and decentralized. And so we chose the interplanetary file system. Shorthand is IPFS. And we put all of our images, any media file associated with an NFT, on IPFS. And that means, of course, that it's definitely, if you own that NFT, you will always be able to access your file, because you're not dependent on any one server to render that for you. You with the IPFS system, it's essentially spread among hundreds of thousands or millions of nodes. And to me, that's fundamental to the value of an NFT. And yet, I would say definitely 2 months ago, maybe even still today, almost all NFTs on Ethereum were stored in someone's server.
Yeah.
And
So let me ask you this: what would it take to, let's say we upload our NFTs on Pinata.cloud. That's our access to IPFS. Yeah. And Pinata.cloud, let's say their site goes down, they go offline, they decide, hey, we're done. What happens to our NFTs?
Well, here's the thing: when you talk, if you want to get, I guess it's good to get a little bit technical here. IPFS, of course, it's like a blockchain. Who directly accesses the blockchain? Most people don't. They use some interface tool, right? Either their Ledger wallet or they go to an Explorer, right? And that's how they do it. So there's an interface. That doesn't negate the fact that if you want to go directly, you can, right? So if you're going through an interface, and most people want to, who are developers, because it's easier, you would use, like, let's say Pinata. That's okay to me, because it's sort of like saying, I'm going to have a copy of some piece of software on my laptop, and that's what I use every day. But I also have a copy on a hard drive stored in a salt mine. Now, it may take me a day or two to get there if my laptop breaks down, but I know I'm resilient. I'll have a little delay, but I will be able to get my piece of software if I need to. So I say what you're doing with Pinata, having just a very easy to use interface on IPFS, is great. And for 99% or 99.99% of the time, it's fine. But your images are still on IPFS.
So even if that site goes down, our images aren't going to disappear.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. So let's talk specifically about the MLB sale. There are two kinds of packs. They're all pre-minted standard packs with 6 cards for $5, and there is 50,000 of them, and then 24,090, a nice even number of premium packs with how many cards is that? 45 cards for $100. So
yeah.
How many unique cards are in the set? How many unique players, I should say? Is the whole league in there? Is this a full set of cards for 2021?
It's pretty far. It's I don't think it's every single one, and there's reasons why Topps didn't do every ball player. But there's about, I think, it's about 1,900 templates. So 1,900 distinct images or card types. And from those, as you guys know, we apply scarcity and rarity templates. And we get to, therefore, about 1.3 million distinct NFTs.
Yeah, I just did the math. It's like 1.384 million of those. So that's going to be quite a lot. And what's cool is that there's a lot of different varieties on here. And it looks like there's going to be some cool burn mechanisms, which I was unaware of. So we have their the 70th anniversary variants. They have a rainbow version, which I think is the rare Independence Day cards. I've seen some styles of these on Bunt, but then you get down to these epic exclusives, which epic exclusive, they wouldn't normally be an epic exclusive. I think normally they're called iconic on MLB Bunt, but I think with NFTs, people are used to being called epics. But look at this one right here, these legendary exclusive cards. There's very few of these. But there's only one of this one and only one of this one. Are there multiple players that they're going to be one of?
I think this is even what I know of right now, right? And there are, as you said, the odds of getting some of these super rare are super low. On the one hand, that's like, oh wow, it's like a lottery ticket. It's going to be hard to get, but if you get it, that thing is going to be valuable.
Oh yeah.
And Topps understands trading cards and rarity really well, because I mean, we learned stuff from them when we started working with them, because they've been doing this for 70 years, and their cards have done very well. Obviously, rookie cards are particularly attractive for people, and there's, I think, there's a lot of figures here, but I think there's about over 700 players in the MLB, and I think there's many hundreds of players, but I don't know how many ultimately.
Yeah, there's 30 teams and there's 26 people on the roster on each team. So that'd be 780 different players. So this is pretty much like if you were, collecting an original OG baseball card set where there's 792 cards in it or whatever that normal amount is. This is pretty much a full set.
Yeah. I don't know if we got every player is the only thing, but there's a lot. And for anybody who actually does what we do, makes conducts NFT sales, gets all this artwork, puts it on a blockchain. You realize when I say like 1,900 templates, a couple of hundred templates is a lot. I think our biggest to date has been Street Fighter, which was 1,100 templates. And there were about 2,100, I think it was 2,100,000 NFTs. So here you have like 1,900 templates, and you have roughly 1.4 million NFTs. So there's more rarity and scarcity with MLB with this series. That's why I think it's gonna sell out pretty fast.
How is Wax and how is Topps bringing mainstream attention to this and onboarding people into the Wax ecosystem?
Well, by the way, the New York Times article and Business Insider and a whole bunch of sports articles yesterday, and then all the press from the crypto world, CoinDesk and Cointelegraph. There were a couple of hundred media mentions yesterday when we broke the news. So the New York Times article I thought was very good. So I can tell you, we definitely reached a lot of people because the Wax Cloud wallet was temporarily unavailable yesterday because we were just rushed with people trying to get a cloud wallet. And then we passed yesterday. A lot of cool things happened yesterday. The announcement of MLB on Wax, and then surpassing 1 million Wax Cloud wallets, which I still think is the best wallet out there. I mean, the cloud wallet is such a cool concept. It's a cloud wallet, right? So you don't need a piece of hardware. It allows you, the owner, to control your NFTs, to move them out of the wallet into your own like hardware wallet if you wanted to. But why would you keep it in the Wax Cloud wallet? That's because of this really wonderful permissions-based feature in the Wax Cloud wallet, where you, the owner of the wallet, are assigning the Wax Cloud wallet system permission to do certain operations out of convenience to you. So you don't have to like sign every single transaction. Especially if you're doing high-speed stuff, you're in a game, for instance, where that would be a pain. Having the sign-on where you can use your social logins, whatever, Facebook or Google or PayPal, those are all done via this permissions-based system. And so it's not a custodial wallet. You are responsible for your Wax Cloud wallet. You control it. You can move stuff in and out of it, but you also get the automation of permitting the wallet software to conduct the operations that normally in most wallets you would have to do yourself. And so it's a unique proposition right now.
I know the community wants to know is like sometimes I think that the Wax Cloud wallet is a great innovation. I think sometimes it gets a little cloggy, right? When a lot of people are all trying to hit go at the exact same time. And I've not seen any app anywhere that tops, or NBA Top Shot included, any of them. When you got 20,000, 50,000 people all hitting go at the same time, like how do you ensure that it doesn't glitch out? Because that's a hard thing. Like how do you scale up on that back end to ensure that everybody gets a seamless experience? Because I know that we've all had a few times with it and it's like it just gets clogged because everybody's trying to do the same action at the same time and it's not ready for that.
Well, what I ask is that I ask everybody to let their neighbor participate in the sale of the NFT, and you just sit by and then buy it in the secondary market at a higher price. I'm just kidding. So, of course, everybody bum rushes the wallet and tries to go do the sale at the same time because that's the nature of, NFT sales.
Yeah.
But as you know, we've done a few things to try to mitigate. There's the wallet. How do you make the wallet scale better? That's one. And then there's how do you reduce everybody's impulse to have to log on at that exact second? And we did that with the Godzilla versus King Kong NFT sale, where what we did is we conducted that, I think it was for 24 hours, and you could buy the packs. And by buying them, though, you weren't, if you were the first one to get through the payment processing system, you didn't get mint 1 and number 2 got mint 2. And because there's a random element in a
that pre-mints are what people like. They don't like that gold rush. Everybody's trying to open them up as soon as they can. It kills it.
So we did pre-minting and we said, look, you're just going to buy, when you pay, we're going to separate the payment from the minting of the NFTs. I think that worked pretty well. So, people had 24 hours to go by. And then once that part was done, then people could go and retrieve their NFTs, their packs, and those were randomly assigned. Whether you were the first one to have gotten your payment in, or whether you were the 500th one or 5,000th, you had an equal chance of getting a mint 1 NFT and mint 1 pack. And I think people like that because, we also live in an age of bots, right? So
True.
people program software to type faster than you can. And maybe we'll get around in this episode to Alien World and we can talk about.
Nobody types faster than me. I'm the fastest typer there is. I'm better than any bots. Actually, I really want to stay focused on this launch because this is such a big deal. Is there anything else people need to know about making purchases, limits on how many they can buy, how soon after they purchase can they open?
Yeah, and that 5-week-long event that happens after the launch.
Yeah, so here's what I'd say. We, if you go to the website, right, you get, I think all the details are there. I think we'll be putting out another blog post to talk about it again, but we've tried to make it super simple. Show up on the 20th, use your credit card, get your NFTs, and soon you'll be able to trade. We had a lot of complicated ideas that which would have been pretty cool things to do. Maybe we'll do them in future releases. But since we knew we were going to get a ton of no coiners here, people who have not owned crypto before, haven't maybe ever had a wallet before, we wanted to make it really simple. It's like going on any other sort of e-commerce shopping experience and buying it, except it's an NFT instead of whatever, a t-shirt. So it should be simple. The number of cards that we have, as I've mentioned, is the largest set we've ever done. And I do think it's worth noting for anyone who's like on Ethereum, you could never ever do this on Ethereum, right? I mean,
No way.
Yesterday, I think I was looking and the average fee was $13 yesterday per transaction. I think the median fee was about $8. Well, now imagine if you have 5 cards in a pack. So you would have 5 transaction fees. So that would be, call it $40 on Ethereum, plus the pack is an NFT. So now that's whatever, $56. And the pack itself is, whatever, $25. So it would just never, ever work. I think we did the math and it would cost like $30 million in fees or something to actually do this on Ethereum.
Wow.
That's crazy.
So, when I explain that to all these big brands that are coming to Wax right now, and we'll have a lot of great announcements soon, the thing that they see that is obvious is if you want to be doing millions of NFTs, like millions, there's really not many choices but Wax, particularly with the Wax Cloud Wallet, because even if your chain could handle millions, your wallet would probably not be designed for rapid trading, ease of use, which we came from Opskins and before that video gaming. So we really designed a wallet to do the things people want to do once they get their NFT. So those are things that, you just can't do almost anywhere else.
Well, that's good stuff, William. Appreciate you coming on and sharing. Do you have some more you want to say?
Well, I know if you want to talk about Alien World.
So I'm just going to do a quick edit for myself here. We're actually planning on putting this as part of the Nifty News Show that we were going to release tonight and put this interview in it. So I wasn't thinking we would go super
that's
long.
Fine, no. That's perfect.
But hang on, Trev. I mean, what would you think about just putting this out as a separate,
Well, I think that's what should be done, because people are going to want to tune into just this aspect of it. I think the podcast can have it combined, the audio version, but I think the YouTube separate them.
Okay, well, let's do a brief piece on that, because I have to go.
No. You know what? I think you're right. We can actually do another one later.
We'll do another show. We'll do another one. So
you got to edit this stuff.
Yeah, after you got the next version, there's next couple big announcements to come out. Then we can just do that and talk about all the stuff that's going on.
Okay, so let me wrap it, and then don't leave yet though, Bill. Okay, so excellent. Well, William Quigley, always happy to have you on the show. Telling us what's coming. Can't wait to hear about the next announcements that'll be coming from Wax. Yeah. And I guarantee you, we're ready to buy some baseball cards. Only this time, my mom won't be able to throw out the grocery bags of them while I'm away at school.
Or eat your bubblegum.
True story.
Mom.
Yeah.
Thank you, WQ, for the updates. Looking forward to a big launch. It's a lot of packs. It's a lot of cards, but I think there's a big audience for this out there. So it'll be really interesting to see how it goes.
I'm excited. I mean, you think about it. I mean, I think my very first pack of collectibles that I got as a kid was, I think it was 1977 or 78 when I got the Star Wars cards. Those were my very first ones. And then in 1980, I think I got my first baseball card pack, or 1981, where I got my first baseball card packs. And I remember because it was like a kind of a reddish border, but then they had like a little baseball cap with the name of the team on it. And I was like, these are so awesome. And I was hooked, man, from like 81 until probably 91. And then I got into some football cards, because the football cards started getting really cool in the mid 90s. Like they started getting really good with their printing and the thickness, and there's like the refractors and the different. And now cards are just, the physical cards are just unbelievable with real artifacts from games, and from, like, oh, here's a slice of the jersey from an actual game played thing, and like signatures, and the cards are phenomenal. And now taking those to the digital world, we were like, man, I can't wait until Topps brings baseball to Wax, and here it is. Yep,
it's finally arriving. So we'll be lining up to get some packs on the 20th, and you can too. The prices are better than Godzilla on this. Godzilla was $100 for a big pack for 30 cards. You get 45 cards for $100 in this case, so it's a much more
about
reasonable.
$2 a pack, about $2, 2 point something cents per card.
Yeah. So, but they're not the same as the bunt cards, are they? Because you thought maybe
they look different. It's a different series. Well, they look very similar to the bunt cards, but it's just a different. It's a different style of cards that haven't been released on bunt. But I guess it's a whole complete set of 18 of them, right?
Yeah, I think so. All right, gang, that's going to wrap up this Nifty News episode. Friday live on the Nifty Show at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. We've got 4 guests. I'll say Sandlot, Band, Exit Limbo, and Dr. Zamzi. Some really fascinating stuff coming your way. Join us live, and if you don't, watch the replay or subscribe to the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or Spotify. Even though you can't really subscribe on Spotify, I think you could follow. So stalk us there. And any final nifty words, Travis?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. If you like the show, make sure to do all the things, right? Subscribe on the YouTubes, because normally on every Friday at 5 o'clock Eastern is when we do the Nifty Show live. This one right here is not a live version, but we're live still. And so tune in while you can, because eventually we won't be here, but we will be NFTs forever.
Indeed. And until then, be nifty.